All right, let's talk about it. The exact cost of starting a bookkeeping business in 2025. My name is Zach Pasquarello. I started my bookkeeping business 4 years ago, and now I have 84 clients, and I do their bookkeeping every single month. They pay me on average $500, which means, yes, I'm making $40,000 per month from my regular recurring monthly bookkeeping clients. And now I make these videos truthfully because I love talking about my bookkeeping business. I love teaching people, I love educating people, I love helping people start and grow their own bookkeeping business. So let's talk about it. The exact cost of starting a bookkeeping business in 2025. And to help me talk about this, I'm going to just reference my actual bookkeeping business from when I started back in 2021. So just to give you a little history lesson, I started my bookkeeping business in October of 2020. So I did have a couple startup costs in October, November, December. It wasn't really much. I'm going to go through the entire year of 2021 just to give you an idea of what to expect. So also keep in mind, I grew my business really quickly and really big in the first year. So I made $100,000 in January through December 2021. So it's not the first 12 months of starting my business, but if you take out the first 3 months of when I was just like learning and just getting started, if you just look at the next 12 months, $100,000 income top line. So let's break down some of the expenses. And before I get started, let me also just mention that I truly believe that a bookkeeping business is the best business to start if you like accounting. If you like math, numbers, computers, Microsoft Excel, business, finances, accounting, bookkeeping, debits and credits, financial reports, if you like that sort of thing, I think a bookkeeping business, obviously I'm a little bit biased, I think a bookkeeping business is the best business to start for a couple reasons. First, you don't need an office. You can work from home. You don't need to travel anywhere. You can work remotely. I have clients all over the country. You can work remotely. You can work from home. You don't need an office. You can literally work from the comfort of your own living room, basement, bedroom, kitchen, spare room in your house. It doesn't matter. Or if you travel, if you want to go to the beach, or maybe 6 months you live in Florida, 6 months you live in Chicago, you can travel all over the country, all over the world, and still run your bookkeeping business remotely. You don't need employees. You can do everything yourself, at least in the beginning. You can, of course, hire employees if you want to grow, but just getting started, don't need employees, don't need subcontractors. You don't need to pay for advertising. You can do everything for free. Social media, marketing, totally for free. Don't need to pay anybody. You don't need inventory. Like if you start like a clothing company, you got to buy a bunch of t-shirts. You don't need to buy inventory. If you start a trucking company, you got to buy a truck. If you're start a real estate investing company, you got to buy real estate. You don't have to spend really any money to get started. You don't need to buy equipment, inventory, buildings, very low barrier to entry. And then finally, you don't need a college degree. You don't need any credentials. You don't need any certifications. You don't need to be a CPA. You don't even need work experience as an accountant. Now, let me just say caveat. Of course, I recommend that you learn bookkeeping fundamentals, learn how to use QuickBooks Online. But technically speaking, like before you get started, before you start learning, you don't need a college degree or work experience or any credentials or certifications to get started. Okay, so let's talk about the cost. How much does it actually cost to start a bookkeeping business? Before I look at my real numbers, let me just break it down for you very simply. Literally all you need is a computer and an internet connection. You can get a QuickBooks account for free. Go to QuickBooks.com, go to Google, search up QuickBooks Online Accountant. You can sign up for free. So all you need is a computer and an internet connection. Literally, that's all you need to get started today. Get started right now, computer, internet connection. And if you don't have internet, go to the library. Go to your local cafe, go to Starbucks. If you don't have a computer, maybe you could get started using like a shared computer at a library, but you're going to need to get your own laptop. But you can get a laptop for pretty cheap. $400 on Amazon gets you a pretty cheap laptop. And you don't need fancy advanced features or memory graphics. Like you're not computing building software, you're not gaming, you're not graphic designing on this computer. Like, you're just doing simple data entry. So you really can get away with a very basic computer. Okay, and then finally, let me just say, I'm sure I'm going to get some comments that are like, it would really be great if you shared your screen. It'd be great to put these numbers up on the screen. Can I be honest with you? I don't edit these videos at all. I'm really busy. I've got 84 bookkeeping clients. 99% of my time is spent running my actual bookkeeping business. So I just make these videos real quick. I talk to the camera for 20 minutes and I upload them to YouTube. Like, I don't edit my videos. I don't have fancy graphics to put up on the screen. That's it. So I'm sorry. You're just going to have to bear with me. Just try to follow along as I go through this. Okay, so $100,000, year one, back in 2021, 4 years ago. $100,000 income, top line. So when I got started, I was paying for some people's QuickBooks subscription. So I would bill my client and then I would pay for their QuickBooks subscription. So out of that $100,000, $3,500 was spent towards QuickBooks. You don't have to do this. You can just bill the client directly, but I just add it into their monthly fee. So it's really not an expense because you're charging the client and then you're paying for it and you're getting reimbursed. So cost of labor, $3,500. And this all came from me paying my CPA, because what I did in the beginning, and I don't recommend doing this, is I had a client and I would bill them for tax work and then I would pay my CPA. So I was just acting like a middleman and I would upcharge it maybe $50, maybe 10%. Don't do that. It turned into a headache and I was tracking down payments, and just don't do it. Just tell your client, yeah, here's the CPA, go talk to the CPA. He's going to bill you. He's going to do your taxes. We work together, but we're separate companies. We're separate entities. So all in, I spent $7,000 on CPA labor and QuickBooks subscriptions, but I billed the client and then just got reimbursed. So I made $100,000, but it was really only $93,000 when you take out the cost of QuickBooks and the cost of the CPA to file taxes. So forget about the $100,000, forget about the QuickBooks and the CPA. Let's just say $93,000 of true income after I paid for the QuickBooks and the CPA. So really $93,000, which is still amazing. That's incredible. That's more than a lot of Americans make per year right now. And I was able to make that my first full year, 2021, operating my bookkeeping business. Okay, so let's talk about the cost. $781 spent advertising and marketing. And so I spent $160 on t-shirts. I got 10 t-shirts with my logo on it. Super unnecessary. Nobody has to do this. You do not have to get t-shirts. I got it because I thought it was cool and I wanted to wear a t-shirt with my logo on it to the gym. Since then, I've never done it again. I don't have any t-shirts with my logo on it. It'd probably be a good idea for me to have clothing with my business on it, but I just don't. $98 for HostGator. So if you want to have a website, you have to have a domain. And so I spent $98 on my domain for 3 years. And then I see another charge for $107. So both going to HostGator. So maybe there were two charges, $200 for 3 years of website hosting. Super cheap, $70 a year for your domain. And then I did spend $400 on Google Ads, but I was not advertising my bookkeeping business. Instead, I made a course back in 2021 teaching truckers how to use QuickBooks. And so I tried to advertise my course, spent $400. Did not work doing Google Ads. Google Ads are very complicated. If you want to run ads, you can, but I recommend do a lot of research, learn how to do them first, or hire a marketing agency to help you with your ads. So all in, t-shirts and my website, couple $100. Okay, let's go back. Let's look. Bank charges and fees, $28 because I was late paying my credit card. Don't be late. Pay your credit card on time and don't pay interest. Next category, continuing professional education, $215 because I was taking a class as an accountant. I was taking an online college class for accounting. So I used my business credit card and I bought a textbook. $215. And I wrote it off as continuing professional education. So if you want to go back to school, you might be able to write that off as a business expense if you're learning about accounting. So $215 for a textbook, $525 for insurance. I got insurance 6 months after I started my business. I got errors and omissions insurance, $525 for 1 year. Legal and professional services, $6 because I wanted to get a copy of my articles of organization. So in Pennsylvania, it's free to set up an LLC because I'm a veteran. So whatever state you're in, they might charge you $75, $150, maybe $300 to set up an LLC. But if you're a veteran, you might be able to do it for free. So I spent $6 just to get a copy of my certificate. $625 for rent. So I mentioned in the beginning, you don't need to get an office. I did not have an office for the entire year, but the second year, 2022, after my first year, I got an office. So in December of 2021, I paid $625 as a security deposit for my new office. So in 2022, I did start going to an office. It was like 2 minutes away, and I got an office because I have young kids at home. My house was pretty small, and so I just wanted my own space. Like in my old house, I did not have enough room to have my own office, like my own space. So I did that. $625 per month for the office. You don't need to do it, but if you want to do it, if you've got young kids at home, if you need your own space to organize your stuff, not a bad idea. Stripe fees. So here's a big thing that some people don't realize. Stripe, PayPal, Square, QuickBooks, they will charge you to process credit card payments. So a lot of my clients want to pay with a credit card. So Stripe actually charges me 3%. So I ended up spending $1,400 just on credit card processing Stripe fees, which isn't terrible. It's not a ton, but it's still noteworthy. $1,400 Stripe fees. Last category, office supplies and software. This is the biggest category, $1,300. So every month I spent $6 to Google for my email address, G Suite, Google Suite, $5.99, $6 for my email address. And then I spent $25 every month for an Adobe subscription because I was creating videos and I was editing my videos. If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to edit videos, you don't need to spend $25 a month on Adobe. $423, I bought a laptop. $423, very cheap laptop. It lasted me about 18 months. I would recommend if you have a little bit extra money, get a nicer laptop. Spend $600 or $700, get a nicer laptop. $112 on an office chair. I still have the chair today. And I actually went to like an office supply store, locally owned. I didn't go to Walmart or Office Max. I went to a locally owned office supply store and I asked them if they had any chairs for under $100. And they said, no, not really. And they said, well, actually we do. Come to the back room. And so they had like 6 chairs that were all like kind of broken. Like they had like factory defects. And so I got this really nice chair that was actually $300, but like the back was ripped a little bit. And I was like, I'll take it for $100. So it's a really high quality chair, really comfortable. I got for $100 that was originally selling for $300. Definitely recommend invest in a comfortable chair. As a bookkeeper, we're office people. Like where you're going to be sitting at your desk for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours every day. So you want to get a good chair. Get something comfortable, something that you can sit in and that's not going to hurt your back or any other part of your body. Get a nice chair. Go to a local store. Let's see, what else? Computer charger. I spent $68 because I lost my computer charger. Just miscellaneous stuff that you might not think about. Microsoft, $1.99 per month for Microsoft OneDrive to back up my files. And $40 for a filing cabinet. I went to Facebook Marketplace, found a filing cabinet for $40. And what else? Last thing, Kajabi. So I sell my bookkeeping course on Kajabi, and that was that cost me $200 per month just for the Kajabi subscription. But just like Adobe, if you're not selling a course or if you're not editing videos, you don't need that. But side note, check out the links in the description of this video. If you made it this far, I have a ton of resources for you. I have a course that teaches you everything you need to know from start to finish on how to start your own bookkeeping business. It's linked below. Use code YouTube for a $50 discount. I have a free Facebook group that you can join. Go to my store. I have a ton of free digital downloads that you can download, harrisburgbookkeeping.com/store. You can sign up for a one-on-one consultation with me. That link is also in the description of this video. Check it all out. I've got a ton of resources down below. Okay, so all in all, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, this bookshelf behind me, I bought that in 2021, and that was $67 on Amazon. And picture frames, $5. Tripod. The tripod that my phone is sitting on right now was $23. And then finally, the last thing, $15.90 per month for my Squarespace subscription. I have a website. It gets pretty complicated, but you need to have a domain and a website, like somewhere to host your website. And so I spend $15.90 to Squarespace every month for my website. So all in all, I made $93,000 in 2021, and I spent, let's just call it $5,000 on t-shirts, bank charges, a textbook, insurance, office supplies and software, 1 month of rent, and Stripe fees. A little bit less than $5,000. Yours will probably be less because you might not have the rent, you might not have Kajabi or Adobe, and you probably won't pay for Google ads like I did. I spent $400 on Google ads. So let's just call it probably closer to $4,000 to start your bookkeeping business. And that was progressively throughout the year on miscellaneous things like Stripe fees and office supplies and a chair. Insurance is a big one. But I made $93,000, spent $4,000, ended up making a little bit more than $88,000 in the first year of running my bookkeeping business. So I hope this video was helpful. Just to recap, you really only need a laptop and an internet connection. That's really all you need to get started. And then you'll get your website, you'll get your email address, you'll get a comfy chair, you'll get insurance, and that's pretty much it. So I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. Subscribe to my channel because I'm doing a new thing this year. Every week I'm putting out a new video. So this video was all about the cost of starting a bookkeeping business. And so next week I'm going to talk about top 5 must-have software for bookkeepers in 2025 to boost your productivity. So stay tuned. I'm going to keep putting out new videos. Check out all the links in the description of this video, and I will see you all next week.